Hello again. We're going to read today chapter 2 of Magic Treehouse number 7, Sunset of the Sabertooth. It's written by one of my favorite authors, Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 2 is called Bones. Before we read, I just want to kind of remember what's happened last time. So, Jack and Annie are on a mission to save Morgan. They have to find 4 magical things, and those 4 things will help her get out from her spell. Okay? The second thing is they had just got out of swimming lessons, so they're wearing their swimming suits, they've got towels on, and then, of course, they decide to go to the Magic Treehouse. They see the book that's lying open, and in the picture they see a land of rocks and snow. And before Jack or Annie could even really do anything, Annie looks at the picture and says, "Oh, I love snow, I wish we could go there." Jack says, "No, no, no, we're wearing our swimsuits, no, don't." And boom, they're transported to this new place. Let's begin. Chapter 2 is called Bones. Jack, Annie, and Peanut looked outside. Snow was falling from a gray sky. The treehouse was in the tallest tree in a grove of bare, tall trees. The grove was on a wide, white plain. Beyond the plain were high, rocky cliffs. I'm cold," said Annie. Her teeth chattered. She wrapped her towel tightly around her head. "Squeak!" Peanut sounded cold, too. "Poor mouse," said Annie. "I'll put you in Jack's pack. You'll be warmer there." Annie slipped Peanut into the pocket of the backpack. "We have to go home," said Jack. "We need warmer clothes." "We can't go home," said Annie. "We can't find the Pennsylvania book. Not until our mission is complete. Remember? That's the way the magic works." "Oh, right," said Jack. He looked around and there was no sign of the Pennsylvania book that always took them home. Annie peered out the window again. "Where are we anyway?" she asked. "I'll find out," said Jack. He picked up the open book and he read the title on the cover. "Life in the Ice Age." "Ice Age," said Annie. "No wonder we're cold." "We better find that third M thing soon," said Jack, "before we freeze to death." "Look," whispered Annie. "People." She pointed out the window. Jack saw them too. 4 figures on a cliff. 2 big figures and 2 little ones, all holding long spears. "Who are they?" said Annie. "I'll look in the book." And here's what Jack and Annie are seeing. There they are in the treehouse looking across, and they see those 4 figures that are people carrying those long spears. So you can see what a spear is, but just to remind you, so a spear looks sort of like this. It's a long stick with a pointed rock at the end, and it's used for hunting. Spears. Jack found a picture of some people, and he read the caption to Annie. "Early modern humans were called Cro-Magnons, and during the late Ice Age in Europe, they sometimes lived in caves beneath cliffs." "Why are they carrying spears?" said Annie. Jack turned the page and he found another picture of the Cro-Magnons. Sorry, Henry is yelling. "Why are they carrying spears?" said Annie. Jack turned the page and he found another picture of the Cro-Magnons and he read out loud. "The Cro-Magnon family often hunted together. They covered deep pits with branches and then they drove reindeer and mammoths into the traps." "Oh, trapping the animals. That's sad," said Annie. "No, it's not," said Jack. "They couldn't live without hunting. They didn't have supermarkets, you know." They watched the family disappear over the other side of the cliff. "Come on, I'm freezing," said Jack. "Let's hurry and find the M thing while the Cro-Magnons are hunting." "But I want to meet them," said Annie. "Forget it," said Jack. "They don't have books that tell them about us. They are going to think we're some enemy and hurl their spears." "Yikes," said Annie. Jack put his book away. Peanut peeked out of the backpack. "Stay in there," said Annie. Jack pulled on his pack and started down the rope ladder. Annie followed. On the icy ground, they huddled together. The wind was biting. Jack put his towel over his head and snow blew against his glasses. Hey, Jack, said Annie, look at me. Annie had put on her swimming goggles. Now I can see, she said. Good thinking, said Jack. Now, cover your head with your towel. Most of your body heat is lost through your head. Annie wrapped her towel around her head. We should find a cave or someplace warmer, said Jack. I bet there are caves on those cliffs, said Annie. And she and Jack started across the white plain. The snow wasn't deep yet, but the wind was blowing hard. I told you! Annie pointed to an opening in the cave, into the rocks. A cave. They ran to it. Careful, said Jack. They stepped carefully into the shadowy cave. It was only slightly warmer inside, but at least the wind wasn't blowing. In the gray light, they stamped the snow off their sneakers, and Annie took off her goggles. It smells in here, said Jack. Yeah, said Annie, like a wet dog. Let me see what I can find out, said Jack, and he pulled out the Ice Age book. I'll look around, said Annie. Maybe the M thing is in here, and then we can go home and get warm. Jack stood by the entrance so he could read the book. The cave is filled with sticks, said Annie. What? Said Jack. He didn't look up from his book. No, wait. I think they're bones, said Annie. Bones? Echoed Jack. Yeah, lots of them back here, all over the floor. Jack turned the pages of the book and he found a picture of a cave filled with bones. I hear something, said Annie. Jack read the writing below the picture of the cave and it said, the great cave bears of the Ice Age were over 8 feet tall. These bears were larger and fiercer than today's grizzlies. Their caves were filled with the bones of their ancestors. Annie, whispered Jack, get back here now. They were in the cave of a great cave bear. That's the end of chapter 2. The next chapter is called Brrr. So, something to think about. What would you do? You land in the Ice Age? Are you going to be interested and explore? Or are you going to be more of a Jack and do lots of research? So think about it today. Are you an Annie? Or are you a Jack? Talk to you soon. Come back later for chapter 3.